area and perimeter of triangles. So, lesson topic, it is area and perimeter of triangles. The students, after this lesson, you are expected to calculate area and perimeter of triangles. So now, let's continue to the lesson. So first, let's try to define the meaning of area. So, what's area? Area of a closed figure. Area of a closed figure is the number of square units inside the closed figure. So look this one. If you have this region, so the area of this region means it is the number of square units found in this region. So look, assume this one is 2 units, and assume this one is 3 units. So if you divide these 2 pieces into 2 pieces, and if you divide this into 3, since it is 3 units, divide this into 3 pieces, you have this. So, how many square units do you have in this region? Simply, you can count the number of square units. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So, the area of this region is 6 square units. Therefore, the meaning of area is simply it is the number of square units inside that closed figure. That's the meaning of area. Now, let's see what a perimeter is. Perimeter of a closed figure. Perimeter of a closed figure is the length of the boundary of that closed figure, the length of the boundary. So, perimeter of a closed figure is the length of the boundary of the figure. Okay, now let's come to here. This region is given. So, what is the perimeter of this region? Simply, perimeter is the length of the boundary of this region. Therefore, the length is start from this. You take this length plus this one, again this, gives you the perimeter of this region. Therefore, the perimeter will be, this length is 3 units, plus, again, this one is 2, assuming this is a rectangle, and this one is 3, plus this one is 2. Totally, you have 3 plus 2 is 5, 5 plus 3 is 8, plus 2 is 10 units. So, this is the meaning of perimeter. It is the length of the boundary of that region is called perimeter. So, before directly proceeding to area and perimeter of triangles, let's see or let's revise how to calculate area and perimeter of square and rectangle. So let's start from rectangle. Area and perimeter, area and perimeter of rectangle. Okay, here, if you have a rectangle, and assume this length to be the base, let's take the letter B, and this one is the height. How do you calculate the area of this rectangle? Look, this one. Simply, we count the number of squares to calculate or to find the area of this region. But simply, you can find by multiplying these two. 2 times 3 gives you 6. Therefore, to calculate the area of rectangle, simply you multiply the base and the height of that rectangle. Therefore, the area of this rectangle is given by base times height. This is it. And how about the perimeter? The perimeter of this rectangle. As we said earlier, the perimeter is the length of the boundary of the region. Therefore, you start from one point and you just move around the side of the rectangle until you reach the starting point. Therefore, so let's start from this point. This length is B, plus this one is H, plus this one is also B. You know that the opposite sides of rectangle are congruent. Therefore, this one is B, plus this one is this H. Therefore, this is it. And simplifying this, you have B and B are like terms. So you can add these two. You have 2B plus H it is 2H. Factoring 2 as a common, simply it becomes 2 into B plus H will be the perimeter of a rectangle. Now, how about square? Area and perimeter of square. Area and perimeter of square. In this case, I think you know what a square is. A square is a rectangle in which all of its sides are congruent. Therefore, here, if you have this square, all its sides are the same. Let's assume to be it is S. All its sides are the same. Therefore, to calculate its area, you multiply base and height. S times S gives you S square. Therefore, area is equal to S times S. Therefore, area of this square will be this S squared. Okay. How about the perimeter? The perimeter of this square will be simply you add all its sides. So here, S plus S plus S plus S gives you 4S. Therefore, the perimeter will be this 4 times S. So this is how you calculate area, perimeter of a square and rectangle. Now, I'll give you example for this concept. Example 1. Okay, here calculate the area and perimeter perimeter of the following rectangle. The following rectangle. Okay, this rectangle is given. This is a rectangle whose base it is 8 meter and its height is 6 meter. So we're asked to find the area and the perimeter of this rectangle. So how do you calculate its area and its perimeter? So let's see the answer together. So the area of rectangle is given by this formula. Simply you multiply base and height. Therefore, this is equal to the base is 8 meter times the height is 6 meter. So the product gives you 8 times 6 it is 48 meter times meter it is a square meter. Therefore, the area of this rectangle is 48 square meter. Now, how about perimeter? Okay, perimeter is the total length of the boundary of this region. So, simply perimeter is equal to start from this point and add the side of the rectangle. P is equal to 8 meter plus this one is 6 meter plus this one is also it is 8 opposite sides of rectangle are congruent. Therefore, plus 8 meter plus this one is also it is 6. This one is 8. Therefore, plus 6 meter. So the final answer will be 8 plus 6 is this 14. Again, this one is 14. 14 plus 14 is this 28 meters. So this is the perimeter of this rectangle. Now, let's go on to second example. Example 2. Example 2. The perimeter of a square. The perimeter of a square is 32 meter. Find the area of the square. Find the area of the square. Please, students, try this question. I will give you 30 seconds for this. Students, have you tried the question? Very nice. Let's see the answer together. Solution. Here, the perimeter of the square is given. The perimeter of the square is given to be 32 meters. And we are asked to calculate the area of this square. So, let's draw the square. Its perimeter is given to be 32. We are asked to find its area. Since all sides of a square is the same, let's assume the side of the square to be x. Each side will be x, the same. So, using the perimeter, we can develop an equation. So here, the perimeter will be equal to the sum of all the sides of the square. So x plus x plus x plus x. 1, 2, 3, 4x. Therefore, the perimeter is given. It is 32 meter. So x plus x plus x 4x. So to find the side of the square, so divide both sides by 4. And this cancel out. So x is equal to 32 divided by 4 is 8 meter. So here, this will be the side length of the square. But the question is, calculate its area. To calculate the area is equals to base times height. Simply it is x times x. So since we have calculated x, so take the number, it is 8 meter times 8 meter. Therefore, 8 times 8 gives us it is 64 square meter will be the area of the square. Now, let's proceed to how to calculate area and perimeter of triangles. Area and perimeter of area and perimeter of a triangle. Okay, here we have different types of triangle. So let's start from how to calculate the area of right angle triangle. Let's start from first one, A, right angle triangle. Right angled triangle. Here, right angle triangle is a triangle in which it has one right angle. So this is this right angle triangle. So how do you calculate the area of this triangle? To calculate the area of this triangle, or the formula to calculate the area of triangle is derived from the area of rectangle. Earlier we said here we have this rectangle. To calculate the area of this rectangle, simply you multiply the base and height. If you use this diagonal divides the area of rectangle into two equal parts. Therefore, the area of this triangle is half of the area of rectangle. So here, area of the rectangle is simply it is base times height. The triangle is half, so you divide by 2. Therefore, here, if you have a right angle triangle, to calculate its area, just take the base and height. Base and height, here you can see that the base and height are perpendicular. So, to calculate the area of a triangle, simply you use this equation, half times base times height. So this is the formula to calculate area of right angle triangle. And if we are asked to calculate the perimeter of a triangle, simply you add each side of the triangle, or you move around the triangle and you find the total length of the boundary of this triangle. Therefore, here you have this side is B. Let's assume the length of this side to be C. Therefore, from this picture, the perimeter of this triangle will be B plus H plus C. This will be the perimeter of this triangle. Now, I will give you one example for this. Example 1. Example 1. Calculate the area and perimeter of the following triangle. Here the triangle is given. It's right angle triangle. So this side length is 6 meter. This one is 8 meter. And this one is 10 meter. So you are asked to calculate the area and the perimeter of this triangle. I will give you for this question 30 seconds for you. Students, have you tried the question? Good. Now, let's see the answer together. To calculate the area of triangle, simply you use this equation, half times base times height. So this will be equal to half times, and the base and the height of this triangle are at the side that make 90 degrees. Therefore, one of this is a base, the other one is a height. This is not, it's either a base or a height. So, base and height are perpendicular to each other. Therefore, you take these two sides. So, the base it is 6, the height it is 8 meter. Therefore, here, it is 6 times 8 meter. So, multiply this, it is 48. 6 times 8 is 48. So you have 48 square meter divided by 2/2. You have this 24 square meter will be the area of this triangle. Now, let's see its perimeter. The perimeter will be equal to, simply you add each side of this triangle. Therefore, this will be 8 meter plus 6 meter plus 10 meter. It gives us 8 plus 6 is 14 plus 20 it is 24 meter. That's it. So this is the answer. Now, let's proceed to the second type of triangle, which is acute angled triangle. The area and perimeter of acute angle triangle. Okay. Now, here, acute angle triangle is a triangle in which each angles are acute or less than 90 degrees. So, how do you calculate the area of such triangle? To calculate the area of such triangle, draw an altitude from one vertex to the opposite side. So we call this, it is an altitude or height of this triangle. Altitude or height of a triangle, let me write this definition. Altitude or height of a triangle is the distance from vertex. That's a perpendicular distance. When you say distance, it's a perpendicular distance from vertex to opposite side or opposite side extension. So the perpendicular distance from vertex to opposite side, we call it the height of that triangular altitude. So, and this one is called the base in that case. So how do you calculate this one, the height, and the opposite side length will be this one, it is the base. So how do we calculate the area of this triangle? So to calculate the area of this triangle, look this one, assume this point to be D. You have two right angles triangle ADB and triangle ADC. So here the area of triangle ABC will be equal to, it is the sum of the area of triangle ADB plus area of triangle ADC. This is it. So this is equal to area of triangle ADB. Look, this one, ADB, it's right angle triangle. To calculate this area, simply multiply the base and the height and divide by 2. Therefore, the base is BD, the height is this AD. So its area will be this half times the base BD times the height AD plus area of triangle ADC again is simply right angle triangle. You multiply its base in height. The base is DC, half times the base is DC times AD. The height is AD. Therefore, from this, we can take a common here. 1/2 AD are found in both. So using distributive property, you can take a common outside. So here, half and AD are common. So take these two as a common, and you have BD here, plus you have DC here. Okay, so this will be equal to half times AD. AD is, we said, the height of the triangle, the altitude or height of the triangle is H. So times BD plus DC is the total length, it is a base. Therefore, this one is B. So finally you have this equation, area of a triangle is this base times height. So this is the equation to calculate the area of acute angle triangle. By the way, not only this one, you can use the other altitude to calculate the area of this triangle. The area of this triangle using this as an altitude, assume this one is BE, you can calculate area, it is half times the base, in this case is this one, and the altitude is this one. So take the product of the two and divide it by 2. So simply it is AC times BE divided by 2 will be the area. If you take this as a base, this will be the altitude. If you take this as a base, this will be its altitude. If you take this as a base, this one is altitude. So you can alternatively calculate the area of a triangle, acute angle triangle, in different ways. Therefore, but generally, to calculate the area of a triangle, simply you apply this equation, half times base times height. So I'll give you example for this one. Example. Calculate the area of triangle ABC given below. Triangle ABC is given here. This one is A, B, C, and this distance, let's assume to be AD. Calculate the area of triangle ABC. If length of BC is equal to 10 centimeter and length of AD is equal to 8 centimeter. So how do you calculate the area of this triangle? Please students, try this question. I'll give you 20 seconds for this question. Students, have you tried the question? Good. Now let's see the answer. Okay, here, to calculate the area of this triangle, area is equal to half times base times height. So in this case, the length BC is given. BC is this distance, so this distance, the base, is given to be 8 centimeter. And BC is this 10 centimeter. BC is this 10 centimeter. And AD is given to be this 8 centimeter. Therefore, to calculate the area, simply base times height divided by 2. Therefore, its area will be this half times the base is 10 centimeter times the height is this 8 centimeter. Therefore, this will be 10 times 8 is this 80 centimeter times centimeter will be this square centimeter divided by 2, you'll have this 40 square centimeter. So this will be the answer. Now, let me give you one more example for this. Example 2. In the following triangle, look, this one is the triangle. This one assume it is A, B, C. Assume this to be E. In the following triangle, this one is D. AD is equal to 5 centimeter. BC is equal to 12 centimeter. And AC is equal to 10 centimeter. Then calculate one area of triangle ABC. Area of triangle ABC. To calculate the length of BE. Okay, now let's try this question together. Look, here we are asked to calculate the area of the triangle. To calculate the area, we use this equation: half times base times height. To calculate this area, you can use this base and height, or you can use this base and this height BE. So first let's put the numbers here. AD, this distance AD is this 5. This length is 5 is given. BC, this length is given. It is how much? BC is 12. So to calculate the area, I can use this base and height. So this area will be equal to half times the base is this 12 centimeter, and the height is 80, it is 5 centimeter. So this will be equal to, just you can cancel this by 2, dividing both by 2, this becomes 1, this becomes 6. So 6 centimeter times 5 centimeter will be, it is 30 centimeter square. This will be the area of the triangle. But again, we are asked to calculate the length BE, this length. So to calculate length BE, since we have known the area of this triangle, using that and using the formula to calculate the area of triangle on the other side, or using this height and this side, we can calculate the length BE. So using this equation, area of triangle will be this half times this base AC times this height BE. So this will be equal to this half times AC is how much? It is AC is given to be 10. AC is this 10, so this length is this 10. This is 10. Therefore, 10 centimeter times BE. B is not known. We are asked to calculate it. Therefore, here we assume this is B itself. But area of the triangle is known. We have calculated here to be 30. So here this area is 30 centimeters square. So this will be 30 centimeters square is equal to, just divide this by 2, 10 over 2, it is 5. 5 centimeter times BE. So to calculate BE, divide both sides by 5 centimeter. This cancels out. BE is equal to, here 30 divided by 5 is this 6 centimeter square divided by centimeter. 1 centimeter cancels out, and you will have BE will be this 6 centimeter. That's it. Now we will proceed to the next triangle, obtuse angled triangle. See, obtuse angled triangle. Okay, in this case, you have such a triangle. It's obtuse. One of the angle is greater than 90 degrees. This such a triangle is we call it obtuse angle triangle. A, B, C. Assume this one. To calculate the area of such triangle, what we do is we are asked to calculate this area. To calculate this, extend or draw an altitude from point B to the extension of this side. Since we don't have an altitude in this direction, the altitude would be outside or on the extension of side AC. So this will be the height of the triangle, and this will be the base. So to calculate the area of this triangle ABC, area of triangle ABC will be equal to the area of the total triangle. Assume this point to be D. So from the bigger ABD, area of triangle ABD minus the area of this triangle BDC. From the total triangle, if you subtract this one, you will have the area of this. Therefore, minus area of triangle BDC. So this will be equal to area of triangle ABD is simply it is half times, since it's a right angle triangle, the base it is AD times the height is this BD minus the area of this triangle will be this half times CD times BD, half times CD times BD. So this will be equal to this. You can take the common. BD half is common. So take half in the BD outside, and you have here AD, here it is CD minus CD. So this will be equal to this half times BD. Length is BD. BD is the height of this triangle H times AD minus CD. From this length, from AD, if you subtract this one, you will have AC. So AC is the base. Therefore, area of this triangle will be H times B, or I can write area will be this half BH. Therefore, to calculate area of obtuse angle triangle, you can use its base and the altitude will be outside of the triangle. So using these two, you can calculate its area. For example, here, if you are asked to calculate the area of this triangle A, B, C, and this side given to be it is 6 centimeter, and this altitude is given to be 4 centimeter. To calculate the area of this figure, simply you multiply this base and this height. So area of this triangle will be this half times base times height, half times the base is 6 centimeter here, and the height is 4 centimeter. Therefore, 6 times 4 is 24 over 2 is this. This will be this 12 centimeter square. That's it. So this is all about today's lesson. I'll give you questions for you to try it at home. Exercise 1. Calculate the area of the following triangles. Okay, the first one is this triangle is given. Okay, this one is 3 units and this one is 4 and this one is 5. Just assume it is in centimeter. B, calculate the area of this triangle. This distance, assume this one is DEF. And this one, this is H. So this distance is given to be it is 12 centimeter, and this altitude is given to be 6 centimeter. Calculate the area of this triangle and calculate this one also, the area of this triangle. This one is 5 centimeter. This one is this 4 centimeter. calculate the area of this triangle. Triangle A, B, C. That's it. So, this is all about today's lesson. Until next lesson, goodbye.